Grand Rising. Many of the things that we have been seeing happen in these last few decades were actually in the scriptures. They were actually hidden in there, but we would get the understanding here at the end when the Holy Spirit would awaken us and give us knowledge and context. I'm going to show you something because the whole thing in 1965 and allowing all these immigrants to come over to our lands in order to surround us on our own land was all part of the prophecies. It was all part of the Most High's plans. And I'm going to show you a few scriptures. You're going to see how this plan of, us being surrounded by our enemies has all worked out. Now see, Ish and the powers that be try to do the same thing over there in the so-called Middle East, except they're surrounded by their brothers. They're surrounded by so-called Arabs. So, Israel's supposed to be surrounded by their enemies in order for this, after this transformation, they're going to be like lions amongst the sheep. But that's really happening with us because we were surrounded by all different nations, not just one nation of Arabs surrounding the Ish people over there in the so-called Middle East. Check this out. So as you look right here, it talks about how the Most High in 17, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will. See, you other nations, you never had an opportunity to do your own will. You were just put in positions to fulfill the will of the Most High in order to fulfill the prophecies, right? So it says, for the Most High put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom, to the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. You, all of your actions, all the things that you've been doing have been just set up for you to fulfill the will of the Most High. You've had no such thing as free will to do whatever you want. You have just been working for the Most High. Like it talks about, Most High creates good, he creates evil. Most High creates, he controls all these things. Okay? Now, this is Baruch 4. Okay? Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. Now, of course, Esau did this, but look, also all of you immigrant groups, you also had your hand when you took us down. You received us in your hands. You enslaved us as well. You came over here as well, and you also stole benefits, resources, land, our inheritance, our identity, right? So 33, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. So see, you other nations came over here, 1965 to 2025, and you are rejoicing in our ruin, right? And you are glad that we fell. So, but what's going to happen is a switch. So shall she be grieved for her own desolation, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. So see, a lot of these immigrants have come over here and have been very, very prideful, right? And they've been rejoicing and getting all of these benefits. But what does it say? For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. There it is, a great multitude from the 1960s till now of all these different countries, all been told to come over here and get your piece of the American dream, right? Come over here and get the free dainties, the free benefits. So, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. You guys have been rejoicing for the last 60 years. You've been getting all these benefits for free. You've been told to hate our people. So if you look, that whole great multitude is not talking about what's happening over there in the so-called Middle East. When you got Palestinians and other little Arab countries that are around them that are pretty much just, getting destroyed by Ish every day. They have not been rejoicing over there. Has the other nations been rejoicing around Ish? Have the Palestinians been rejoicing? Have the other Arab countries been rejoicing? No. But right here it talks about in 34, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude. The great multitude came over here. They've been rejoicing. They've been enjoying themselves. But the Most High is going to take away all of that, all that rejoicing. 35, for fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a time. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold, the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Another part of it is this great multitude enjoying themselves. Let's look at 10 right here. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. And that's like us going out of the city when we were in the blessing and going into the field, right? We were leaving our cities and we're going out into the field. We're going to be enslaved in the field. We're going to be leaving the comforts of our cities and being enslaved in the field. So again, for now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. Now Babylon also is babbling, confusion, which is what we did. We went into, right? Lost our inheritance, lost our heritage. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Most High shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now it's not just one enemy. It's not just Esau. It's also all these other countries that have banded together with them. Psalms 83. Now look. Now 11. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. Now, all these people came over here to our lands, and they were up close, and they let our eye look upon Zion. They were very close, so they could see Zion. They could see us, not from a distance, but close. So again, now also many nations are gathered against thee. They have been gathered against thee. They made a covenant with Esau. They came over to get the dainties. They were told to hate us. So again, 11, that's what happened from the 1960s to the 2025. Now also, many nations are gathered against thee. They're gathered on our own lands, surrounding us, that say, let her be defiled. Let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Lord, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. And now what happens? This is what is about to happen. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine hooves iron, and I will make thy hooves brass. Thou shalt beat in pieces many, okay? I will consecrate their gain unto the Most High, and their substance unto the Most High, okay, of the whole earth. So that is where we are right now. That is the point where we are at, going from 12, 11, 12, into 13. You see that right there? So all these other nations were gathered. They were brought over here. They were looking on Zion. And let's look at, let her be defiled, what that means. These other nations right here. Right here. What does defile mean in the Bible? In the Bible, to defile means to make something or someone impure, unclean, or unholy through physical, ceremonial, or moral corruption. This can include actions like desecrating a holy place, which is what they've done, violating sacred objects, or committing sinful acts that spiritually taint a person. If that's what all these other nations have come here to do. Now you can understand, what is it that, hold on. How is it that all these camps can still keep pushing that chart when all those countries are new, just new, things are just been recently made up? And then all these people that say that they're all these different countries, they're from Mexico, they're from here, they're from there. Those are all just new concoctions, right? So again, how can you keep, most of those people that are in all those countries have been our enemies. They have come here to take and take and take. They have not come to actually help Israel. They've been here to look upon Israel and say, let her be defiled. That's what they have been doing this whole time. But see, now that we have, the right concepts, right, we can see now what's going on, right? We're coming now from the right perspective. Now we can see that this whole 12 tribes chart, and including all these different people who have always been our enemies, not all, but the vast majority of them, yes, are our enemies. And they came over here from 1965 and 2025 to look on to Zion, let her be defiled. They went with Esau, and they agree with Esau that wanted to see us be defiled and wanted to see us at the bottom. We had to serve that punishment, and we're all done with that. And now you see the switch. Now I have a lot more scriptures to get into where you're going to start to see this whole situation from 1965 to 2025 was written in the scriptures. It was going to happen here in the fourth part. That's why the X over America is so significant, because the Most High is showing you where prophecy is being fulfilled. Shalom.